Coach, when you've gone back and kind of looked at the game film, is there anyone that has stood out to you that really performed well that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet?
Nick Haber. I think for a guy who, in his first football game, in our description of football, was very composed, performed well, enjoyed the moment. I think it was probably a worry. How is he going to handle the lights, the crowd, the everything of a first college football game? And I was very impressed. And I haven't met an Australian that I don't like. They're wonderful people. But I pointed to him, to the team. I said he was jumping around, excited to play. Excited to be there. So he would win. I don't know. I mean, he showed up on the stat sheet, but he was one that I was proud of.
Another guy who played seemingly what looked to be a pretty good game was Derek Langford. Got his first career interception. Can you just kind of talk about the way that he's kind of progressed from when you first got here to now?
Well, we talked about him in the spring. He had a really good spring, and I think his connection with Coach Richardson, his desire to be better and really not just football and everything. I think he's developed some mature, future visions of himself, and I think that helps him on the football field because that's just part of doing things the right way. He wasn't doing things wrong. I just think and I could be wrong on this. That's just how I take him. He wasn't bad when I got here. We recruited him when he was in JC, but I've seen a growth from him as a person and as a player, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
I have a similar question as that, but on Calvin Jackson,
catch.
Obviously a tough last year for him, but 90 yards, good debut. He looked pretty comfortable out there.
I thought he looked real comfortable. Happy for him. You're right about a tough year in multiple ways for him, and for him to stay focused and use some of those things as inspiration. I thought he showed probably what Coug fans seen early from when he got here, and I think it was a big step getting him through a game without worrying about an injury or something. I think that was a positive step for him.
Overall in the receiving core, are you expecting a little bit more from that group come Saturday? Was there I
was disappointed in their production and some of the details from Saturday for sure after seeing the film. But I don't think they're alone there. I think up front we could have played a lot better. And I thought it all starts there, and that affects everything as we go. So they've been challenged. They will have a challenge. They've been challenged by us. They will have a challenge coming in schematically with Portland State. But we need the guys up front to be great, and it was great having Mark Rippon come out and him emphasizing that on both sides of the ball.
Was that today?
Yeah, just right there. He just spoke to the team.
Okay. Anything else from his speech stand out to you?
Yeah, it did. He like every Coug I've met that have played here, it's a very similar message of still feeling part of it. He said we a lot. It wasn't you guys, it was we. Talked in a collective sense, and I think that's fairly common from the alumni that I've got a chance to meet. And he emphasized he'll be here this weekend. He emphasized how much he enjoys being a Coug still, and I think that's wonderful for the young guys to hear.
Personnel updates? I know probably not, but with the injuries, do those guys look like they're maybe coming along? Or
Isom looks good. Some of them were still kind of, it's day by day with a bunch of them. So
you're looking at Portland State. Obviously, they put up, I think it was 35 points against your former squad in Hawaii.
35 or 28. I think they put up 28.
28. I mean, is there anything that gives you worry there?
Oh, I think it's a good quarterback, and it's talented receivers. The game, they got a couple scores late in the game. That doesn't. The quarterbacks, he's got some magician to him. Some of the things he does off script, or it's you can only respect it as a football fan, as a fan of quarterback play. I think he's a good player. I think there's a nice connection between him and the receivers, and up front defensively, they're built on causing disruption and confusion, and being 0-1, whether you're 1-0-1, you can't. There was one game in my career where I said we probably just have to show up to win. I've never had another one of those. This is a challenging team, and this is not one that we're taking lightly.
Do you know anyone on that staff personally, or have any connections there?
Colin Fry, we worked together at Nevada. Gotten to know Barney over the years. Probably the two best I know.
And then following a loss, it can be easy to sort of get down and sort of lose that energy. How has the team responded in the film room, on the practice fields this week?
Film room's been good. Been up and down. Yesterday was a little up and down. Today we started really well. We had a little lull. Good energy to finish practice with 2 minutes in the stadium. A little change up for them. So, but the message is, you don't have to play the game. You get to play the game, and that's how we need to take an opportunity to look at it. They get to do something they love again, and you might as well do it well.
We talked about the flex defense a little bit on Monday, but how much of
I know him.
How much of an aspect of randomness is there to that, and does a lot of that come from the rover, just kind of unpredictable?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily randomness as much as it is disguise. I think it is a system. It's not just chaos. I think the vision or perception of chaos is probably part of the thought process, but I don't think they're just some rogue element running wherever. They have assignments. It is a system, and it's unique. Yes, not a lot of people run it, but Pion's run it for a long time and learned from some of the best. So it's unique, and I think I would describe it more that way than chaos, because I do respect, if somebody's just out there running around radar defense, and they have rules, they know where they're supposed to be. Those types of things are still in place as a system.
You said Monday that you were leaning towards going with Jaden at quarterback, without, with the whole Jared situation a little uncertain. Is that still the plan, or is that?
I plan on going with Jaden. I think Jaden deserves a ton of credit. Proved to me, and nothing between the lines. Proved a maturity level, a growth that maybe he wasn't, in a situation to prove during camp a whole lot. Loved his energy, loved his communication on the sideline. There's tons of growth there. I was thoroughly impressed with the growth that young man has gone through and become. And I think he feels it. He was down when we didn't name the starter, which he should be. But he didn't throw his helmet down, go jump in the transfer portal. He put his head down, went to work, and was here for his teammates. And I think that's something everyone can respect. Good deal.
All right.
Mortal Kombat, what's your finishing move?
Okay, sorry. I didn't know I was going to be sent here this morning. I'm not dressed appropriately.
Well,
so.
I think you are. I got nothing wrong with Mortal Kombat.
Love Mortal Kombat. Obviously.
Who's your guy? Or
I
girl?
apologize for the non-football question, but do you have any reaction for the new COVID requirements for fans to get in the stadium?
But we're just trying to keep people safe. I don't think it's done. It's about giving the team, the fans, an opportunity to enjoy Cougar football, and I think that's been the plan the whole time. And yeah, it doesn't affect us and the job we're trying to do a whole lot. So we got to concentrate on getting better on this field. So.